Welcome to Author Mastery Insights. I'm so excited for this conversation. It is a little different in that we're not going to be talking specifically chiropractic, although we are going to talk philosophy from a chiropractic origin. I am with Enrique Lopez. Welcome, my friend, welcome.
Thank you, welcome. And it's a pleasure to be with you and to have this chance to talk to many other, I should say, colleagues.
Yeah, I certainly consider you that, and we're going to talk about actually things outside, but yet simultaneously arising from chiropractic. Before we do, let me share a little bit of your background. Enrique is a certified spinologist by the Philadelphia Spinal Tutorium from the United States in 1981. He holds a diploma in chiropractic and osteopathy by the Icon College of Berlin in 1998. Holds honorary diploma of the International College of Spinology of Australia, a Master of Craniosacral Osteopathy from the College of Barcelona as well. He is in practice as a spinologist since 1981 in Valencia and other cities of the Valencian community. He is president of the World Council of Spinology since 2001, president of the Australian Association of Spinologists, president of the Professional Association of Spinologists from Spain, a spinology teacher since 1985 and current principal of the European Spinology Tutorium, International Institution for the Training of Spinologists. He has the honor distinction and Doctor of Science by OMA, the World Organizations of Alternative Medicines, and is the author of this amazing, incredible body of knowledge, deep principled and philosophical understanding, Spinology, the book of fundamentals and philosophy. And that's why I'm excited for this conversation, because I think it holds such an opportunity to understand our own philosophy, deepen our connection to a principle that is immutable and undeniable in its truth. This is amazing. So, Enrique, firstly, thank you for being here, but most importantly, really, tell me about this book. Tell me what this book represents.
Okay, welcome for again, and welcome. No, sorry, you're welcome, like you say. Okay, let me talk about the book. The book was intended to be a book not about technique or spinal adjustment techniques or spinology technique or whatever. It was not a book meant to be like that. It was, and it is a book to make people think, okay? In this world of ours, especially in the last 2 years and a half, and I want to talk about that, and I don't think you will either, people that don't think, but this is not something that is now, it has been forever. I mean, and one of the beauty that I recognized immediately when I was exposed to the concept. When I mean the concept, for me, the concept is the fact of having your spine checked on a regular basis for the good of it. That's it. When I was exposed to that in 1976 by a street chiropractor who graduated from Sherman and whose teacher was Reggie and many others of that big team that they had there in the 70s, I was impressed because, and I asked myself, why nobody has told me that before? Said, wow. So I'm not this kind of professionals or practitioners who say that. I respect that, of course, because that's a good reason to become a chiropractor or a spinologist or a practitioner of a profession like ours. Oh, I owe this to my profession because I was so sick and chiropractic saved my life, or spinology, attending to this spinology saved my life. Therefore, I was healthy, I was young, I was playing football in 4th division here in Spain, I was in law school. Can you imagine me in law school? And so, and when this idea came across my mind, I said, I want to be one of those. I want to become in that case, I'm talking about 1976. I said, I want to be a chiropractor. I want to be a street chiropractor. So I applied to Sherman and they accepted me. But then I had to stay here in Spain. This is short, I'm going to make it short. I had to stay here in Spain for 2 years more to go to the army, to make money. And when I was ready to almost go there, I found out that Reggie moved from from Sherman and founded ADIO in Pennsylvania. So the school did a transfer of my papers. And when I was really almost there, I found out through my friend, the chiropractor, that Reggie just left Chiropractic and opened something called the Philadelphia Spinal Tutorial. So I was in this crossroad of, if I follow the profession or I follow the man who can teach me the best in the world. And I decided to go after the man. So in 1979, January the 7th, I was sitting there in a class with 11 more students, and I had in front of me the figure of Reggie Gold and Enrique Gold and Christopher Kent and PJ Martin and all this big stuff of teachers in front of me. And that's when the Spinology adventure started. And I was there. I belonged to that first class. And when I came back, to Spain almost 2 years later, I already was thinking in doing something here in Spain about teaching. And I found out that Reggie was writing notes for a potential book. He even told me that the name of the book was going to be Open Channels. I remember that. and I said, okay, he's going to do that. But then we had a big lapse of time that requires a bottle of Australian wine or Spanish wine. That's for another interview in private. But at the end, when I started writing the book, we are in 2022. Yeah, the time goes by so fast. I started writing the book like 10 years ago. But I'm not a writer. I'm a spinologist. I have office hours. I have a family. I cannot tell my wife, I'm going to disappear in the cottage in the mountains for a month because I'm going to finish my book. I couldn't do that. So I was writing step by step. But in summer 2000, I think it was 16, or I don't remember. I think it's 16 or 7. I don't remember. 5 or 6 years ago, I said, I need to finish that. And I spent the whole summer, and I'm talking about 3 months, writing and finishing the book. That's why I'm wearing glasses. I didn't wear glasses before. So many hours in front of the computer. Okay, so in my mind, in my soul, in my heart, there was a need for having a book in Spinology. Chiropractic has thousands of books, but Spinology has only one book, and that's why it's called Spinology, the book, because that's the only one so far.
That's incredible. It's actually an amazing book, and I want to just acknowledge you to have brought this to humanity. I think it's an incredible gift. And you have a Spanish edition as well, not only the English edition. So show me that Spanish edition. So
yeah, here we go.
It's the Spanish-speaking world can also learn these principles. And I hope it's the first of other books to come, by the way. And
Thanks.
that your colleagues and yourself continue to bring this, because it's a really fascinating story. And I'd love for you to just share a little bit more of the history, because for those familiar with chiropractic history, we have Reggie Gold, who has spoken to us about the principles of chiropractic. And as you said, he moved from Sherman and changed his approach. He was frustrated and disillusioned with the political landscape, not only of chiropractic, but of health and the requirements that we have for registration, and said, let's step away from that insanity. Yeah. And we can still serve humanity, but not have to have registrations and be constrained by their policies to serve the way that we can. So I think this is such a beautiful story that, Reggie stepped into a new arena. And as you said, you followed the man, his greatness, his wisdom, his insight, his humanity to serve. I would love just a little bit more of that backstory before we even get into this book, because this book then tells the philosophy of Spinology, and then we'll talk about the relationship that has to chiropractic. But yeah, the history is just so beautiful, so not often explored and expressed. So anything that you could share here would be just wonderful for people to start and how.
Yeah. Okay, there is a little story about the book and Reggie and myself. The last time I was at Reggie's house in 2008, my wife and I spent like a full weekend there. We were very close. We were very friends. We used to play racquetball when I was in the school together. He always beat me. He was 50 something, I was 22. Unbelievable. So besides that joke, we became very, very close to each other, even both families. So there was no problem saying, I'm going to be there. Oh, come over. And so we were there. And I mentioned to Reggie, I'm writing a book. But I remember that's in the book, or there's an anecdote here. I told him, I remember that you started writing a book back in 1983, 84. And I remember even the title of it, the name of it. I said, yeah, but I stopped. I couldn't go further because blah, 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 blah. But I said, okay, it would be great if you could show me some of the notes. And then he said, I for Irene, can you go and bring me the folder on that, blah, 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 and bring it here? And so Irene came with a folder that said Spinology book, and he handed it to me and told me, finish it. That's the final push that I needed in order to do a combination of his notes and what I already had of my notes. So that was like, I have to finish it. I have to write it. And that was very emotional, like you're feeling right now for me, because it was like an honor for him, that charismatic human being, to just tell me, finish it. I trust you. You're gonna be great. So that's the story behind that. And that was in 2008. And I couldn't, 8 years later is when I really pushed the accelerator and finished the book. And if you see the book, there is a huge part of philosophy of, with many notes of Reggie in the beginning. Some of the quotations are back from the 80s about the asbestos factories and the things but I heard them in my class because he was teaching us in 1980 and 1981. So that was, there was actual, there was the news at the moment. Right now, it doesn't sound like the new, but it's still so valid what is in there. And it makes you think how we don't think. So the book is divided into 3 parts, actually. One is the serious stuff, the philosophy stuff about, the principles, how they have evolved from the beginning of chiropractic, then straight chiropractic, through Reggie, and now we have adapted it or updated it with some other terms that in essence is exactly the same, because a universal truth is a truth all the time. It doesn't matter how you call it, okay? But that initial part is, we talk about inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, all the shortcomings of using inductive as only when we're studying life. Life is not like in a laboratory, A plus B equals C plus heat. When you have a living thing, is A plus a living thing equals who knows, with heat, of course. And you cannot predict it, and you cannot duplicate it. That's why we don't call it scientific, what I mean about that. So all of these things that people don't realize, it's in that part of the book. And I thought to myself, this is too serious for a reader. So let's put in the middle of the chapters anecdotes of my personal life in Spinology. See, short mini stories. Some of the people who have, well, you have read some of them, no? Or all of them, make people laugh, so they distract them a little bit in order to jump again into the second chapter, or the next chapter, which is serious stuff, to just stop and read it twice and all of that. And the second part of the book talks more about what is spinal occlusion, and we call it in Spinology spinal occlusion, what you call vertebral subluxation, or you say vertebral or vertebral?
Vertebral here.
Vertebral, yeah, because I have a friend from Australia, and cervical, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going deep into scientific things. I always think thought and think that if you want to deep more, yeah, come to the school and learn. I mean, for a practice member, we don't have patients, we have practice members or clients, and it's important to just receive your services and the education that we can give them in order to make them understand much better the concept of maintenance care for him or her and the whole family. But technical stuff about how we use the vertebrae and the muscles here and the name of the ligaments and all of that, if you want to know more about it, join the school. That's it. So the book is, what I'd say at the end is the importance of what is the meaning, the real meaning of the cause and effect of spinal occlusions in our body, and therefore in our expression of life. And that's how more or less the book is divided, 3 sections that I think people will like it, enjoy it.
Well, I can tell you that it is a great read. I think anyone who reads it will be better for having read it. They will understand how to express life more fully and completely,
Yep.
philosophically and practically. They'll have a beautiful understanding of not only the history of spinology, but the evolution of Reggie's thinking in a way as well, which I think is amazing. So I want to acknowledge you and appreciate you for continuing that journey. The thing for chiropractors watching this who may not have even heard of spinology, I'd love for you to talk about how spinology is in fact different from chiropractic and how it evolved out of Reggie's philosophical thinking.
Okay, so it's very easy, but let me tell you first that I consider chiropractors my cousins. They're part of the family. I have around, I don't remember how many friends on Facebook, probably 2,000 something, I don't remember, or more. I haven't checked that lately, but believe me, 85% of my friends are chiropractors. It's unbelievable. So chiropractors who are friendly not only to me, because they know what I am. I'm a spinologist and I run the school, and I've been all these decades in front of this movement. So if they knock at my door, or my door is because they say, "Hola, I would like to be your friend," which I love it, okay? Because we share so many things. I remember one chiropractor, I don't know if he's alive because he came to the school in Philadelphia, Walt Giddings. He was practicing, well, anyway, Walter Giddings, American chiropractor. And he told me, remember one thing, we have more things in common than against. Okay, and I have kept that sentence in my mind always, believe me, always. So the difference is that eventually if you go and read stuff from the straight chiropractic movements, before coming here, Marcus, I was reading the statutes of the Federation of Straight Chiropractic Associations or Organization, FSCO. I'm talking about 1978. And I was reading about this. This is spinology, because they were saying that the difference between, the old story, straights and mixers, there has been a battle forever. And I think, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be lasting. But we as a spinologists, with the knowledge that we have about the human body, about the anatomy, physiology, about the technique, we are not trained to diagnose, to treat, to prevent, or to give a prognosis on any diseases, because we are not prepared to do that. So how do you dare as a spinologist to say, well, I think you're going to get better in 5 sessions, you don't know that, you're lying to the people, okay? And I understand that a chiropractor by law needs more curriculum, because you go for, I don't know how many years you study right now, but if you go and see the content, the syllabus of all of the, ¿cómo se dice in Spanish, of all the schools, I see that, correct me if I'm wrong, but 70% of the syllabus is medical stuff, because you have to pass the national boards, the state boards, or whatever. But at the end, if you are going to practice Spinology or straight chiropractic, helping people to, through regular visits, achieve their best potential, do you think you need microbiology, virology, obstetrics, blood test, urine test, prostatic? Come on. So the big difference is that we have been from the very beginning like an extension of that straight chiropractic and with a vitalistic philosophy. And we have never pretended to be other thing than that. So when I talked with you, for instance, or when I meet somebody in your profession that thinks like we do, you know, my heart goes, another one, Jesus Christ, we are not the only freak in the world. There are many thousands of us thinking that way. If you want to be a doctor, go and study medicine. If you want to be a chiropractor, straight chiropractor, and help people live without spinal occlusions or vertebral subluxations, then become a chiropractor. And chiropractic, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, should be very close to Spinology. Concentrate all the knowledge, all the training program in what we really need to master in order to be a safe tool for people. That's all.
Love that. And you know what, cousin, maybe even brother, I love what you speak of, the service that you provide, and you know that you still, this is the beauty of it, you're still expressing the innate intelligence of the body, allowing them to live fully and completely. And this is the mission of anyone who serves principles of life. And that's, we can remove the term chiropractic. We can even remove the term spinologist. It is expressing the principles of life, fulfilling our mission, living with health, the body's self-healing capabilities. It's not the labels we place on us, it's the intent that we have and the service we provide and the heart that we have to make a difference in the world. That makes us brothers, not only cousins, and maybe cousins by name, but brothers by heart and intention.
I like that. I'll change the name, brothers rather than cousins, because of you.
I appreciate that. And I know this book has impacted me. And I think the reason I wanted to share this interview was so that people could look deeper into this. And I think there may come a time, and this really represents my next question, there may come a time when registration precludes chiropractors from serving humanity the way they would like to, or practicing without restrictions. And make no mistake, I had in mind to register to do the training as a spinologist because I did not want to have to follow the mandates that the government had for me. Yeah. And my first thought was, knowing I knew about Spinology, I knew about Reggie and his mission to serve humanity. And so there may come a time that we not only become brothers, but we become partners in a construct of how we serve humanity as well. That possibility still exists. So thank you for continuing the mission and serving that mission. And so what do you think Spinology represents to those people who don't want to be forced to operate within a construct that medicine, government, big pharma would have us operate?
Interesting question, because right now the website of the school is being under maintenance and redesigning it. Once it is ready, I'll let you know. And you will see that in the homepage, it says there is some chapters that says our courses. And we have Certified Spinology Diploma as the top one. Second one is Mastering Spinology for Street Chiropractors. And the third one is Optimizing Spinology Seminar for already professionals in Spinology. So let's focus on the second one. I have taught, let's see, how many? Three different seminars for chiropractors who want to somehow go away from what you were saying. I gave one in Argentina in 2016, and there was another one that I gave in 2018 in Cardiff, in Wales, in the United Kingdom. And because I have a friend there, a chiropractor, it's called Benny Matthew, you might have known him, and he's really very close right now to me, because we are going to open a school together in Cardiff, in the United Kingdom. But you cannot imagine how many chiropractors. I have a long list of chiropractors who have contacted me or the school asking about that you were asking me now. And unfortunately, I cannot do anything for the US chiropractors. They always ask me, well, I don't want to register anymore. Can I break my license of chiropractic? No, I said, no, don't break that paper, please, because you cannot practice Spinology in the States unless you are a chiropractor or you have some degree. Nobody has ever practiced Spinology in the country where Spinology was born. Isn't it amazing? In other countries like, in Europe, South America, in your country, there is no restrictions for Spinologists if we follow the code of ethics of our profession. That's very important. I mean, we don't have rules coming from the outside, but we have created our own rules based on our philosophy. So if any of the chiropractors is now listening to me, I'm not promoting the courses, but I'm telling you that we have the seminars, which are 4 days together, and with the background that you and your colleagues have, and most of them, of course, the ones who call to the school, they knew Reggie, they are still chiropractors. This is not open for any other type of chiropractors, because it was the sense of coming to a seminar where we talk a lot of philosophy, a little bit of technique, and also in a certain percentage about promoting and running an office in Spinology. But we have that opportunity, and we are going to have another one in June in Cardiff, and this time it's going to be more than 5 or 6, because we have a list of chiropractors who didn't register with the British Association of Chiropractic, because they are like you are, sick and tired about this pressure, and they want to work and practice freely. So they are trying to join the Spinology movement. And of course, we are welcoming them with all our open hearts and arms, because again, why not? We are brothers.
Tell me again, I'd like to come to a little bit further to the book, and how has the book, and I love the message of it, how has that helped the Spinology movement grow? Having written the book, has this brought more attention, more growth in Spinology, and really has it also created greater awareness of what Spinology represents? Okay,
we have here to talk about 2 different paths. One, when I wrote the book, I thought I would like to give that to every practice member that joins my office. That's it. You sign up, boom, here we go with the book. On the other hand, I put it on Amazon where you can find the book, and I said, well, let's see how far I can go. So when I did 3 presentations of the book in two important bookstores here in Valencia, and then one in my office with the practice members and friends and relatives and family. That was fantastic. I printed 100 of them and they were gone in 1 week. Just 100. But when I wrote the one in English, the one in English is the one who gets more impact. Of course. Why? Because there are more English-speaking chiropractors than Spanish-speaking chiropractors. And it's easy. Every week, I get a note from Amazon. Somebody purchased your book from United Kingdom, from there. So that, and now you being with me talking about the book here, that's for me what, commercially speaking, will be a result. Wow, somebody is asking me about my book. And yes, it has an impact, and I'm sure from now on it will have more impact. All of the chiropractors that they join the Master in Spinology, they must read that first. That's a prerequisite, okay? And in the school, we use the book as a textbook in philosophy. And besides, we have a manual on philosophy. So this was not meant to be a bestseller, but could be a, let's say, an important book in the world that you and I live, which is big, by the way.
I love and appreciate that. And look, this has been so, I think, thought-provoking for me. Immediately, you know, my wife, who registered to become a chiropractor, conceived our daughter before she got to study chiropractic. So she's never graduated as a chiropractor or completed studies of chiropractic. But immediately I think, well, there's no reason she can't pursue Spinology, because she's not going to continue down that pathway. And I think there are so many opportunities for this relationship between Spinology and chiropractic to coexist and to develop together. I think it's a really interesting thought. So what's your response to the thought about that, about the coexistence of Spinology and chiropractic?
Sorry, say it again. I missed that.
What are your thoughts about the relationship between Spinology and chiropractic existing together to grow together?
I tried to do that already here in Spain. Believe me, some years ago, you know, we have here two schools in Spain, one in Madrid and the other one in Barcelona. And the one in Barcelona, the BCC, is run by an Australian. Did you know him, right? So I visited him. I went with a big fold dossier of information with the intention of what you were saying, how far we can go. I mean, can we help each other? But I guess it wasn't the moment for them. It was the moment for me to go and have the courage to knock on the door and say, hola, hello, I'm a Spinologist running the school 300 kilometers down south following the coast. That's Valencia. And you know me, and I know you and you and you, but let's talk about it. And we sat, and I visited the school twice. And at the end, they were not ready. I'm sorry to tell you that, but they were not ready. I was ready, but they were not. So Reggie has also said in the last interventions and interviews with chiropractors in chiropractic channels that if chiropractic survives, it's because they're going to do something with us. That's what he said. I'm not here saying, hey, I am your savior, come over. I'm not saying that. I mean, believe me, if we get the chance to talk more or see each other, you will find me a very humble person. That's because my father told me like that, and I'm like that. But I don't think that the chiropractic movement in general is ready. But every day, step by step, month by month, I see more chiropractors knocking at our school or trying to find out about how they can be part of this. And my idea is that, my intention, my hope is that it will arrive that time. I don't know when. Maybe I'm not in this world anymore, and somebody does that for the movement. But if we are working like little ants, creating something big, and at the end, it must come. I'm sure it will come. With people like you, it will come.
That's wonderful. Now, before we finish, one question I have. We do talk to chiropractors about writing their books and about the importance of sharing your message. What is your advice to aspiring writers, people who want to share their message, whether it's a message on chiropractic, whether it's a message on Spinology, whether it's a message on how to heal your body, heal your mind, make better life choices? What would you tell a person who wants to share their message and impact the world more powerfully about writing a book?
Okay, you know, there are people in the world who speaks much better than writes, and vice versa. And the perfect combination is 50-50, right? So let's talk about only writing. I mean, if you have passion and you get certain knowledge about strategies in writing, and if you don't have them, internet has a lot of them, and you can very easily take a seminar on how to write the book, for instance. I didn't need that because the passion was here. And that overloaded the other thing. Besides that, I had the chance to go to a German school for 12 years here in Valencia, and they make you work and they make you write. And I'm very grateful for that. So passion and be brave. I mean, if you want to tell the people your message, your mouth is great, but reinforce that with right things. Write short articles, have a blog, and tell them, hey, there is a new post in the blog. Did you read it? I do that in the office. And they say, well, I didn't do well. Next time I'm going to ask you again. Oh, by the way, I read it. And so it creates a dialogue between practice members and yourself. And these are short stories. And if you have the intention of writing a book, go for it. I mean, don't be a coward in the sense of you're going to do it right. Have it corrected by your editor, of course. Do all the steps that we have to follow in order to have a book in like it should be an ideal one. But by all means, write. And that helps a lot to understand this magnificent concept of having your spine checked on a regular basis for human expression. That will help you a lot, for sure, and people more.
Well, Enrique.
Yep.
Gracias, amigos. I appreciate you. I appreciate your message. I think you are doing an amazing service to humanity. I'm excited to have come across this book. Its words spoke to my heart. I know that everyone who reads this will be changed in their understanding of vitalistic philosophy and the way that they can serve humanity through whichever avenue they decide is the vehicle they can work with. But for you, for the message, it is profound, it is powerful. I bless your endeavors and work so that you may serve at a high level. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.